In studio, Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett of Texas. She's on the Oversight and Judiciary Committees.
Here with reaction, Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Homeland Security Advisor, our friend Stephen Miller.
The idea that any of us want to be unsafe in this country is absolutely absurd, right? I don't care what your political affiliation is. I don't care what your cultural background is.
This has become their religion, celebrating criminals, celebrating predators, celebrating illegal aliens who prey on our citizens.
None of us want to be unsafe, but we're not looking at the facts. We're not looking at the fact that immigrants, regardless of how many times you're going to cherry pick and say, well, there was this one immigrant that was here illegally and they ended up killing this one person.
That beautiful young woman stabbed to death, murdered savagely on a subway, just trying to get home from work.
Well, for every immigrant that you have an example of, I'll raise you at least 2 to 5 white supremacists, if not more.
They understand if you release a monster will kill. If you release a savage will kill.
You've got to look at who is it that is committing the crime, who is it that is committing certain types of crime, and then you need to figure out why, and then you go in and you say, this is how you reduce it.
The Democrat Party does not fight for, care about, or represent American citizens.
This idea that you can look at somebody and say, I'm looking at you and I think that you don't belong. Well, who is it that does belong? That's my question.
All you see all day long are crazy Democrats screeching on TV on behalf of foreign terrorists, hardened criminals, and violent illegal aliens.
And you can't look at somebody and know whether or not they are a U.S. citizen.
A political party exclusively dedicated to protecting terrorists, criminals, gangbangers, and murderers.
Why is it okay for ICE to then go out and see somebody and look at them or hear them and say whether or not they're a U.S. citizen to the extent that they are, in my opinion, violating their constitutional right?
It cannot be explained unless you deeply, fundamentally hate America.
So listen, if we want to figure out how we are going to be safer, we probably need people that have actual intelligence and actually will pay attention to data and facts and go from there.
Look, if your streets are more violent, as these Democrat cities are, more violent than Baghdad, more violent than communities in Ethiopia and places that many Americans would never even dream of visiting, some of the most dangerous places on planet Earth.
But if you know the history of policing in this country, then you understand that they were born out of slave patrols. And now with the Supreme Court saying this, it's almost like you can just go grab them up. That is what they're saying. And that is a problem. We all should have a problem with that.
If you want to be safe, stand with President Trump. Stand with the Republican Party.
But when you don't want to teach American history that includes Black history, then you lose out on the benefit of understanding that we have been down this road before. And it was not good, and we fixed it once, and it is a shame that we are relitigating this, and we are going to have to fix it again.
And you should praise God every single day that President Trump is in the White House. Body after body after body after body. 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 That was Washington, D.C.